Richard Fitz, you finally did it. You got that. That's a W, even though it looks like a 3. It's another edition of Red Sox Now. We're in the 80s with episodes. Thank you for watching. I'm your host, Mike Antonellis. You can follow me all my social media channels at the Radio Mike. If you go to my X, I have a link tree. Click that. You'll find everything. My Twitch account, TikTok, you name it. Thank you for your support, guys and gals. Great stuff. But before we go further, you know the drill. Subscribe, like, comment, share, do whatever. As we got over 100 subscribers yesterday. I think 115 in one day. So thank you. Thanks to all the people that are new. We'll get the comments at the end. The Red Sox have won 4 in a row. I know they're not playing great competition, but if they had lost, remember last year they lost 2 of 3 to Colorado. This is what you have to do. This is what the good teams do. They take care of the bad teams, and the Red Sox are doing that. 9-3, they win. Richard Fitz had not had a win. But, again, you know, I'm not big on wins and losses. He was 0-1 last year with a 1.74 ERA. Now, some of the games he pitched in this year, he deserved the loss. But overall, some of it's just a coincidence. You know, wins and losses don't determine a lot. Remember when Felix Hernandez won the Cy Young? I think he had 12 wins. But Fitz was good. Got him into the 6th. 5 2/3, 5 hits. The Red Sox there was still some lapse of defense. They're going to have to clean that up against the better teams. But he struck out 6. The bullpen did not give up any runs. I really like how Chris Murphy's throwing the ball. I think that's someone to keep your eye on. He's been great, and they're using him in somewhat high leverage spots. But Murphy, Whitlock, Bernardino, and Alcala, they've messed with in a good way. They took away his other pitches. They want him being fastball, curveball. He throws 98 to 100. So they're letting that rip. Good to see. You know, I don't know if Alcala will be around at some point. And we'll see with Chris Murphy. But I think Alex Cora likes him because he's using him in spots early with guys on base. You have to like that. Roman hit another home run. Rafael is homered in 3 straight. And guess what? The Wonder Twins. Ref Snyder and Romy had hits. Romy's is ridiculous. 2 more hits, a home run. He had a triple, hit a home run, 454. The longest home run at Fenway this year, tied with Mike Trout, who hit that against Richard Fitz. Gonzalez said after the game he was not good before he got here. And this is an interesting lesson. You know, I'm sure a lot of people, when they signed Romy and they signed Toro, they look at their baseball card, they look at their numbers. Oh, this guy stinks, and they just discard guys so easily. Well, Romy never really got a chance to play with Chicago, and he said coming here and working with Ref Snyder and the hitting guys has made him better. There's a lot of other factors that make players good players. Opportunity. Abraham Toro's really never gotten an opportunity. And I said this yesterday, and I think it's understated what he's doing right now. He was the guy that replaced Bregman on the roster. You think about that kind of pressure. I know he's been in the big leagues a little bit, but still, remember how you felt the day Bregman got hurt, and they're calling up Abraham Toro to play first, and everyone, people were not happy. There was a lot of sarcastic stuff, but he's gotten a chance to play. And he's hitting 293 and over 150 at-bats. He's been a productive player. You were able to bridge Bregman to Toro, and now you're going to get Bregman back. Toro was huge in this stretch, losing Bregman. You needed someone to step up with Bregman and Casas. And then Roman Anthony, it's pretty obvious, he's the guy replacing Devers. And he's really damn good. Like I've said, he's going to be a superstar. And I thought the Red Sox, the way they handled this, the way that they brought him in, they slowly did it. They didn't want to do it when everyone else did. They waited for the right time. And now we're seeing the fruits of that labor, aren't we? 386 over his last 10 games is pretty good. He's a super, just watch the guy play. I encourage people to watch. Watch the swing. Look at the body. He's 21. He doesn't get flustered. Yeah, Crochet said during the interview during the game, he doesn't act like a rookie. Those are things that organizations look at. How do guys handle the bright lights? Even though Meyer has struggled a little bit, he doesn't look overwhelmed. But Roman Anthony, you have to have that X factor. Mookie had it. You can be the great player all you want, but he's hitting second in the lineup right now. He's hitting balls over, the exit velocity is crazy. And we're just scratching the surface here. Go back to my first video, too, about Ceddanne Rafaela. He was my guy this year. The great Arnie Baylor, a really good friend of mine who was a Red Sox first base coach, used to tell me all the time, these guys are allowed to get better. And we were really quick to dismiss Rafaela and Abreu this year. A lot of people had Abreu off their roster. I didn't understand it. One full year, and we wanted to kick these guys to the curb. No way. No way. It's going to present, an interesting situation because Wednesday, Yoshida is active. It's another left-handed hitter. It's going to be interesting to see the roster moves. I know Cora likes Nate Eaton. He's led him off 3 straight games. I get it. It's against lefties. But I would think it'd be Eaton or Hamilton to go down. We'll see. We'll see what happens. There could be other moves. But Rafael has been amazing. But also, I also want to point this out too. I'm not kissing butt or anything. But maybe at times people have been too hard on Craig Breslow. This is his first gig, guys and gals. His first. All right? It's not his fault that the ownership just kept changing GMs. It is hard. When you bring in new GMs, they have their ideas to build teams. He has his way of doing things. I know with Craig Breslow, he wants offensive players with less strikeouts. That was a big thing with Devers. And that Alex Cora had mentioned months ago, it was the last regime that gave Devers that money. You could tell this is not, Will Fleming explained this. This was not an ownership thing with Devers. Everyone's saying it is. It's not. And I trust Will. Will's the voice of the Red Sox. He has an in, and he talked about it yesterday. Craig Breslow had to go to ownership and present this to them. This is not something they wanted to do. That's why they went to Kansas City. But think about some of the moves Breslow's made. The All-Stars are all guys he brought in. The guy that could have made it, Narvaez. Abraham Toro. There's a lot of guys with his thumbprints on this team. A lot of moves he's made. Right? I mean, it's hard to argue the job he's done this year. I think he's done a really good job. If you try to step back right now, I mean, they gave the keys to 2 rookies who have been really good. And Narvaez and Dobbins, a lot of the moves he's made, I get the Walker Buehler has not worked. But Bregman, Crochet, Chapman, and this is his first year. When a GM comes in for another GM, it can be chaos. You're cleaning up, and I'm not saying Heim did a bad job, but it's different. There's always a transition. There's always different philosophies. And we'll see what happens going forward, right? I'm still going to go back to this wagon, guys, with Sandy Alcantara, and Yahoo has an article about it. And I'm all for this. He's been a lot better over his last 4 games with an ERA of under 3. He has 2 more years of control. He's got better stuff than Walker Buehler. He'd be making a little bit less, but I still think you need starting pitching. I know people are obsessed with the bullpen. I'm not. Because you get starting pitching, you don't have to get to the bullpen as early. I think that Giolito has slotted himself as the number 2. Obviously with Crochet, Bayo has been better. But after that, as much as Fitz has been good in Buehler, I don't know in terms of those guys might get you to the playoffs. Are they going to win you playoff games? No. You need another arm. and Dobbins will come back, and maybe he's the fourth guy, and you add Alcantara to that, I think the upside's worth it. And it could cost you Arias, Sandlin, probably Garcia, but Justin Sun, the password, is not going to probably play here. So I'm doing it. Controllable, young, coming off Tommy John, Cy Young Award winner. I understand people don't like these reclamation projects. Pitching is tough to find. It is tough to find. But I want starting pitching because I think you have a pretty good back end of the bullpen. You know, most of your bullpen's good. So that's what I would like. All right, let's get to those comments. They were coming in hot. I make some comments during the games too in the previous video. If you guys want to look back, just like go Sox, you know. You can ignore them. You know, most of you did last night. It's fine. I get it. Just kidding. All right. Let's go to Mark C. 5677. Walker Buehler did not work out. It is so much harder to get good starting pitching before the deadline. You have to overspend. It's much easier to get decent bullpen arm. True, but if that's not what you need, and I think you can get bullpen arms from within your own. I do believe that. You could have guys down in Worcester right now. You know, Nick Birdie got hurt again. You know, that's a big injury. You know, there's not a lot down there in Worcester. Maybe Isaiah Campbell, they go back to that well. I don't know. But there isn't a ton right now. We'll see where Kyle Harrison fits in all this, right? We forgot about him. Is he the guy, you know, is Harrison in the rotation with an acquisition, or do they feel it's Harrison and Dobbins and Fitz to the bullpen, Houck to the bullpen? You have a lot of options. You could go Houck, Dobbins, and Fitz all to the bullpen. Think about Fitz being a reliever for one inning, right? Or Houck for one inning. Good stuff, Mark. At Tom7471, I know that Yoshida is a reliable hitter, but I'd rather trade him over Duran. He costs the team more, and he is more of a one-way player than Duran. Duran would bring more, perhaps, for the Sox would be a better team with Duran. Yeah, good points. The problem with Yoshida is that nobody is going to pay that for you. No one will do that. They don't have to. That's on you. You understand? So the problem when so a lot of fans make trades, they don't put themselves in the positions. You have to really put yourself in the positions of the other GMs. A GM's going to be like, yeah, we know you guys have a log jam. We're not doing that. We're not going to help you out. You don't have leverage here. If Yoshida was a Roman Anthony type player, that's a little bit different. But the fact that the other GM just say he's a DH, he can't play. Why am I gonna give you all that money just for a guy that can hit? Well, just call somebody up. Makes no sense. That's the problem with the Red Sox making him just the DH. You killed any trade value, but also the contract. But Cora likes Yoshida. And the fact that this regime has already had him, you know, rehab quickly and said he's coming back. But here's the other thing, if you do trade Duran. So say he goes to the Padres. What do you think you're getting from San Diego? San Diego is contending. You're not getting anyone off their 25-man roster. I highly doubt it. And I go back and forth with it too, with Duran. But I just see it at his age. Are they going to commit to him? Now, they don't have to. He's still controllable. But good stuff. At Joe Averso 3258, how is Juan Soto snubbed from the All-Star game? He's batting .260 and sucks on defense. It's not. And snub, All-Star snub talk is the worst baseball talk out there. I could care less about snubs. It is a waste of time. It's an exhibition game. And so many people spent time yesterday talking about it. It doesn't mean anything. Okay, Bregman got voted in. He's going to get scratched probably. But at the end of the day, nobody cares. I couldn't tell you any snubs from last year. It's an exhibition game. Someone will always get left off. And it's just, that's a conversation that does this. It's a circles. You can go round and round and round and round, and it doesn't solve anything. We had another great episode. Have a great Tuesday. Red Sox tonight. I'm actually, on Wednesday, I'm going to see my first Cape League game ever. So if you've been to a Cape League baseball game, let me know in the comments. Subscribe to the channel. And let me know what you think the Red Sox should do. We want to hear that. So thanks for watching Red Sox Now. It is presented by Fan Arts right here on YouTube. I'm Mike Antonellis. Follow me on X at the Radio Mike, and have a great Tuesday.